Welcome back to the Gears and Tool channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Leatherman MUT, or Military Utility Tool. Now this is a relatively specialized heavy-duty multi-tool coming out of Leatherman's factory, and it's not cheap. It's about $160 on Leatherman's website. I picked this up for $120 online, and it has a relatively specific purpose. It isn't a general purpose multi-tool. This multi-tool was designed and manufactured specifically for the military or law enforcement audience, or even a recreational shooter, somebody who goes to the shooting range quite a lot, or somebody who's outside, in the wilderness hunting, stuff like that. So with that in mind, this is a relatively specialized multi-tool, and it's not cheap, but I went ahead and picked one up. I wanted to add it to my collection, and if you're buying this multi-tool, I think that's the mindset you need to have. There are other multi-tools that have more functions than this multi-tool. There's other multi-tools that are maybe even less expensive and a little bit more practical, but this multi-tool is unique. It's got some specific tools on it that might be very useful for you if you're an avid shooter. And with that in mind, this is a great multi-tool to have. Just bear in mind those limitations when you buy this. For me, I'm keeping this in my shooting bag. It's a little heavy for everyday carry, so this multi-tool is going to stay in my shooting bag where I'm most likely to need it at the range. That's what I bought this tool for specifically. It's got a lot of tool size for scope mounts on rifles, or like this punch that I'll show you in a little bit for disassembly the gun to fix a problem, stuff like that. So that's why I bought this multi-tool. I really like the way it looked. I think it's a cool multi-tool, and I have a specific purpose for it in mind. So don't go out and buy this multi-tool. I think it's going to be a great everyday carry. I honestly think a multi-tool like this Leatherman Surge would be better suited for an everyday carry, heavy-duty multi-tool. If you're like a tradesman or something like that, I would go for a multi-tool like this before this. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at, in a little closer detail, at this very cool multi-tool. So I like to start with the outside of a multi-tool. First is the 420HC combo edge blade. This is a very well-shaped knife edge. You got a little bit of a slanted in tip there, which is going to make a very stout and strong tip, which is good because this is the only knife that comes on this multi-tool. That's right. Unlike almost every other Leatherman in this size category, this one only comes with one knife blade, so it better not break. But for what it is, it's a very well-rounded knife, very sharp. I tested this earlier, and this is a very sharp knife. They did a good job sharpening it. The combo edge is like a freaking razor. So good knife on the MUT. However, you only get one, which is a little bit of a limitation, but you have to make room for some of the other more specialized tools on this multi-tool somewhere. On the direct opposite side of the knife is the saw, and I like that they did a full-length saw here instead of doing one of those goofy, adapter saws, like the Surge and some of the other Leathermans out there. They have a little adapter down here, and the saw slips in and out, and you lose a good chunk of the cutting length. So full-size, non-removable saw, which I think is great. A lot of people with this multi-tool are going to be outside a lot shooting, or military, where they might actually need to do some bushcraft and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see they put a saw on there. There is no pair of scissors on this multi-tool. Just about every other Leatherman in this size category, or even the size category down, such as the Wave multi-tool, has a pair of scissors. This multi-tool does not have a pair of scissors, but it's got some things the other multi-tools don't. For example, here's the punch. This punch is for breaking down the AR-15. It also works for like a 1911 or a Glock style pistol. It's very useful for breaking down firearms. So if you're taking a firearms course, or you're a range master at a range, and you need to help people fix their guns, this is a very valuable tool. Also, a cool thing is it comes off. So if you break the punch or something, you can replace it. And you may have noticed earlier, there's a hammer on the butt of this multi-tool. And where that might come in handy is you can use the hammer to tap things out. with this punch. So that's actually pretty cool that you're able to take this off the multi-tool and use it like an actual punch with the hammer that's built right into the Leatherman. So that's a well thought out design there. For a gun themed multi-tool, I think that was a really good item to include. Directly on the opposite side of the punch is the bronze carbon scraper. And I kind of like to think of this as like a big awl. It's very rigid, very strong. It doesn't feel like a flimsy material, even though it is softer than the steel or chrome that's going to be on your AR-15 bolt. So this carbon scraper isn't going to damage your AR-15 when you're trying to clean it, quickly in the field to get your gun operational again. So great tool there. I do see a lot of other uses for this carbon scraper. It's, like I said earlier, like a gigantic awl. So for piercing, maybe some leather work or woodworking where you need to, kind of drill some holes or something like that, this awl is going to be very, very useful. And it's also going to help you protect your only blade that's on this multi-tool. So for some of the prying task or piercing tasks that you don't want to damage your only blade on this multi-tool, this punch or carbon scraper is going to be a great tool. So very, very nice tool there. It really sits nicely here. There's no sharp edges really on this multi-tool. It looks like they'd have, a lot of, with all the protrusions and stuff, that it'd have some sharp edges that, kind of dig into your hand while you're using it. And I can't say that to be the case. It seems to be pretty well thought out. You don't feel like there's anything digging in your hand when you're using this multi-tool. So those are the 4 primary exterior tools for this Leatherman mutt. And back here, I've already shown you the hammer. And then there's also a lock on this tool, which is a little odd, but it's kind of cool, I guess. I don't think I'm going to necessarily use it, but it's there, just so you know. That's what that little lever is a lock for locking the handles down on your mutt. You can close it with it in the unlocked position, and you can lock it. So, if you don't want to use the lock, you think it's kind of silly, you don't have to. It will close with the lock in that position. So, just so you know, that's there. Now that we covered all the tools on the outside, let's go ahead and open this thing up and take a look at the tools on the inside. The first thing you'll notice is the screwdriver tip here, which is just like a lot of the other screwdrivers on Leatherman multi-tools. Got a 2-dimensional bit, and it has a relatively short bit. This is pretty much the same bit that you'd find in like a Leatherman Wave or a Leatherman Surge. But the Leatherman Mute here does have a trick up its sleeve, quite literally. Hidden in the handle are 2 long-shanked screwdriver heads. This has got a hex on one side and a torque on the other side, and the common size that you'd find on scopes or sight adjustments for your rifle or pistol. So that's pretty cool. So one side has a hex and torque, and then the other side, it's actually got 2 of them. They slip right out. You just give it a little smack on the hammer end here. And of course I say that, and then I get one stuck. Just my luck on camera, right? But they do come right out if you put them in correctly. I probably messed this one up. So this one got a large flathead and a large Phillip. So that's probably one I would use most frequently, just for general task. And having the long shank is really quite nice. You can get into tight to reach places where you couldn't normally because of the large handle, thick handle. And you can really reach in there and do some fine detail work or get in places to reach that other multi-tools couldn't. Now, with the long shanked handle or long shanked screwdriver bit in there, you're not going to be able to close this multi-tool all the way. So you'll probably need to use it like this, or like this, or however you prefer. But just so you know, you're not going to be able to close the Leatherman mutt with the long shanked screwdriver bit in there. I'm going to leave the screwdriver bit out for now. So that's the screwdriver. Then you have the web cutter or seatbelt cutter. I tried this earlier on some paracord. It's It's pretty sharp, actually. I've run into some web cutters or seatbelt cutters that really don't work that well. This one cuts right through paracord, no problem. So pretty nice little web cutter there. Like I said before, I've run into some that just, for whatever reason, the way they're designed, they don't seem to cut very well. The Leatherman multi-tools have always been famous for their pliers. Now, the Leatherman Mutt has a pair of pliers that's very similar to the Leatherman Surge. Let me go ahead and grab the Surge here so you can see. In fact, you'd almost think they're identical. They both have the 154 cm removable hard wire cutters. They both have the nice, precise needle nose pliers. They both have the crimper and stranded wire cutter in the base of the handle. The one thing that's different is on the side. The Leatherman Mutt has a threaded hole in the side of the plier head. And what that's for is when the multi-tool is closed, you can see that the threaded hole shows up right there. And what you can do with that is take a standard cleaning rod and screw it in there. And now you have a handle for your cleaning kit, your field cleaning kit. Now this might seem kind of silly unless you have a field cleaning kit with one of those flimsy collapsible handles that's it's compact, but it's not the best handle in the world for actually cleaning your rifle or pistol. So if you have your Leatherman Mutt, you can get around that. You have a nice, robust, solid handle to use with your cleaning kit. So that's kind of a nice feature. That's just an example of how Leatherman's really thought a lot of the details through. Every area of the multi-tool has features like that hidden in there to make it more useful. For example, you have this little bit driver holder down here, which is for your small screwdriver bit. If you're using one of the long shanked screwdriver shanks, you can snap this in there. Slide this in there. And that way you have a place for it so it doesn't get lost. So another good example of something that Leatherman's thought of. Just the little details on this Mutt are quite impressive. They really thought this tool through when they were designing it. There's a lot of utility here that you wouldn't find on other multi-tools. As most of my subscribers already know, I typically don't carry my multi-tools with a sheath. I like to use a pocket clip, and the Leatherman Mute has a pocket clip included, which is great. However, the pocket clip is a little thick. It's not very low profile or streamlined. I thought it was going to be a problem. However, after using this multi-tool for a couple of weeks, I found that this pocket clip is actually quite good. It's very stiff. It has a reassuring feel whenever you clip it to a belt or the side of your pocket or bag. I don't feel like this multi-tool is ever going to get away from me. I wish it was a little bit lower in profile, but I think this deep pocket clip is probably by design. Leatherman probably figures some people are going to be using this with tactical gear, say like a tactical belt, and that depth in the pocket clip is allow those belts and other hardware to get through that gap. So I can't fault Leatherman. I think it's an intelligent design. Either way, it functions very well. The other way you can attach this multi-tool is with the included carabiner. Now I have a couple skeletal tools, and I don't really use the carabiner function that much. On some of the smaller multi-tools I do to put it on a keychain. However, on a multi-tool of this size, that's probably not practical. That being said, the carabiner has a cap lifter right here, and I do use that quite a bit. So it looks cool, and I'm always happy to have a cap lifter easily accessible. So I'll take it. Another really nice thing about the Leatherman Mutt is it comes with this excellent sheath to carry the tool in. And inside the sheath is a scope adjustment tool. You have a 3/8 socket style or hex style wrench. See if I can get a focus here. 3/8 hex style wrench. And you also have a front post sight adjustment for a AR-15 style rifle. So this is not part of the tool itself, but it is in the sheath, so good to have. And the sheath itself, it's very well made. It's got drain holes for water, very large piece of Velcro on the front, which is nice because if you don't want to use this for the Leatherman Mutt, you can throw in some like 1911 mags, like I'm doing here, or a Glock mag, or another multi-tool even, and it's still a great sheath. So as you guys know from some of my other YouTube videos, I don't usually carry my multi-tools in a sheath. But something like this is nice because I can throw some magazines in it or find another use for it. So definitely a big win there. The sides got a couple little pockets for like a pen light or a Sharpie pen. So very nice there. And then on the back, you got your belt loop strap and your MOLLE straps. There's 4 rows of the MOLLE. And then I have to point this out. I hate to be the guy to do this, but the sheath was made in China. And for a company that makes their tools in the United States, I would like to see the sheaths made in the United States as well. I'm sure they did it for cost reasons, but just wanted to point that out to you guys. The Leatherman product line is sold as being manufactured in the United States and advertised that way. The sheath on the Leatherman mutt is not made in the United States. So just a heads up to you guys. I don't know if that's a deal breaker to any of you guys. It's not really to me. It does disappoint me, but I definitely would like to see this sheath made in the United States. So just a heads up to you guys. This is probably going to turn into a magazine pouch for me. As you can see, it's holding 2 1911 mags very securely. Thanks for watching this video review. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe my channel. Follow me on Twitter and check out some of the other videos I have on YouTube.